Individualism in the Western context embodies a complex and multifaceted ideology that places paramount importance on the rights, autonomy, and uniqueness of the individual. It's rooted in the philosophical, cultural, and historical developments of Western societies, particularly since the Enlightenment. 1. Philosophical foundations. The Enlightenment era, with thinkers like John Locke, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, and Immanuel Kant, laid the groundwork for individualism. They emphasized human rights, personal freedoms, and the inherent dignity of the individual. Locke's ideas on natural rights, Rousseau's social contract theory, and Kant's focus on individual autonomy greatly influenced the concept of individualism. 2. Emphasis on autonomy and self-expression. Western individualism values personal autonomy, self-expression, and independence. It celebrates the idea that individuals have the right to make their own choices, pursue their interests, and express their unique identities free from excessive societal or governmental constraints. 3. Individual rights and liberal democracies. The Western idea of individualism forms the bedrock of liberal democracies. It promotes the protection of individual rights such as freedom of speech, religion, and assembly, and the right to private property. These rights are enshrined in constitutions and legal frameworks across Western societies. 4. Economic individualism. In the realm of economics, individualism is linked to free market capitalism. It champions economic liberty, competition, and the idea that individuals should have the freedom to pursue economic endeavors and benefit from their own labor. 5. Personal fulfillment and pursuit of happiness. Individualism in the West often emphasizes the pursuit of personal fulfillment and happiness. It encourages self-improvement, personal achievement, and the realization of one's potential, celebrating the diversity of human aspirations and ambitions. 6. Criticisms and challenges. Critics argue that excessive individualism can lead to social fragmentation, selfishness, and disregard for collective well-being. There are concerns that a hyper-individualistic society may undermine social cohesion and neglect the needs of marginalized or vulnerable groups. Overall, Western individualism represents a foundational aspect of Western societies, valuing the autonomy, rights, and freedoms of the individual. It has profoundly shaped political systems, cultural values, and the way individuals interact within society, influencing concepts of identity, governance, and personal liberty. Individualism becomes hyper-individualism when the focus on personal autonomy and independence reaches an extreme that disregards or neglects the well-being of others or the community at large. Here are some key signs of when individualism may transition into hyper-individualism. 1. Extreme self-centeredness. Hyper-individualism often manifests as extreme self-centeredness, where individuals prioritize their own needs, desires, and goals without considering the impact on others. This can lead to a lack of empathy or concern for the well-being of those around them. 2. Disregard for social responsibilities. In hyper-individualistic contexts, individuals might prioritize personal interests over social responsibilities or the needs of the community. This could involve neglecting civic duties or disregarding the broader implications of their actions on society. 3. Excessive competition. Hyper-individualism fosters excessive competition and a winner-takes-all mentality, where individuals pursue their ambitions at any cost, often disregarding collaborative efforts or ethical considerations. 4. Isolation and fragmentation. A hyper-individualistic society may lead to increased social isolation, with individuals becoming disconnected from communal values or a sense of shared purpose. This can result in fragmentation and a breakdown of social cohesion. 5. Lack of collective concern. When individualism becomes hyper-individualism, it may lead to a lack of concern for collective well-being or societal issues. Individuals may prioritize personal gain over contributing to the betterment of society as a whole. 6. Erosion of social bonds. Hyper-individualism can erode social bonds and interpersonal relationships. The relentless pursuit of personal goals might lead to a neglect of meaningful connections or relationships with others. Overall, hyper-individualism emerges when individual autonomy and personal aspirations override considerations for the common good or the well-being of the broader community. It results in an extreme focus on individual desires, often to the detriment of collective welfare or societal harmony. Hyper-individualism, characterized by an extreme focus on personal autonomy and self-interest to the neglect of collective welfare, can indeed contribute to social disintegration through various mechanisms. 1. Erosion of social cohesion. In hyper-individualistic societies, a strong emphasis on individual pursuits can weaken social ties and communal bonds. This can lead to a breakdown of shared values, mutual trust, and a sense of belonging, ultimately fragmenting the social fabric. Weakening of social institutions. Excessive focus on individualism can undermine the functioning of social institutions like family, community, and civil society organizations. When individuals prioritize personal interests over collective efforts, these institutions may weaken, reducing their ability to provide support and stability within society. 3. Increase in social isolation. Hyper-individualism can lead to increased social isolation and a sense of alienation. People might become more self-contained, less engaged in communal activities, and less willing to form meaningful connections with others, leading to a breakdown in social relationships. 4. Diminished social responsibility. A hyper-individualistic mindset may reduce the sense of responsibility towards the broader community or societal issues. Individuals might become less inclined to participate in collective efforts, volunteerism, or civic engagement, undermining initiatives aimed at addressing social challenges. 5. Economic disparities and inequality. Hyper-individualistic societies can exacerbate economic disparities as a focus on personal success at all costs may perpetuate inequality. This can create a sense of alienation and resentment among marginalized groups, leading to social tensions and unrest. 6. Fragmentation and polarization. A society overly focused on individual pursuits might experience increased fragmentation and polarization. This can manifest in social, political, or cultural divisions, hindering cooperation and consensus building, ultimately leading to societal discord. Overall, hyper-individualism can contribute to social disintegration by weakening social bonds, eroding communal values, reducing social responsibility, exacerbating inequality, and fostering fragmentation within society. It hampers collective efforts and solidarity, potentially leading to a less cohesive and harmonious social environment.